get it out! Please get me out!
Pull the blades.
The man's leg got stuck inside a lawnmower. He was just mowing the lawn at home, but never expected a whole fire crew to come rescue him. The scene was terrible. Pulling his leg out directly would cause massive blood loss. The firefighters had no choice but to dismantle the machine. His pulse was weak. After the paramedic gave him medicine, his heart rate returned to normal. Then, a firefighter noticed something shocking. The man only had his big toe left.
Chief, he's missing 4 toes. I can't find him anywhere.
Get a thermal imaging camera, grab some baggies.
Using a thermal imager, he searched the grass inch by inch. Whenever he found a toe, he immediately put it into a bag. The machine was finally taken apart. The man was pulled out and taken to the ambulance. All 4 missing toes were eventually found. Hopefully, they can be reattached and still work normally. A woman was pinned to her bed by a huge tree branch and could not move. No one expected that sleeping at home in the daytime could end in disaster.
Help! Help! Up here, guys! Up here!
We got at least 1 victim on the top floor. The trees collapsed 2 of the main beams. We need to limit the amount of impact load.
2 recon teams. Keep them small.
Go.
Clark, notice. We got the 35-foot ladder to the attic apartment.
A large tree had fallen and landed right on their house. Firefighters entered through the window.
Please help my wife!
Stand back. Stay out of the way.
The woman's jaw was crushed and she could not speak. The paramedic could only hold her hand and encourage her. Firefighters prepared to cut the branch with a chainsaw. Suddenly, part of the roof collapsed and pinned her even harder. At the same time, a baby downstairs started crying loudly.
I got eyes on him. There's about 4 feet between the tree and his crib. Careful with that debris.
The cutting noise scared the baby, so firefighters sped up. The woman's face was taking the weight of the tree, making it hard to breathe. The paramedic gave her pain medicine and covered her face with clothes to block falling wood chips. The baby downstairs was rescued soon after.
Baby's okay, Chief.
The roof collapsed again, and they quickly evacuated. The branch on the woman was finally removed. She had held up the tree with her face alone. She might be disfigured, but at least she survived. Looks like houses should not be built too close to large trees. The man's arm got stuck inside a conveyor belt. Luckily, the machine was shut off in time. A firefighter climbed up to rescue him, but suddenly, the conveyor belt started moving again. He almost slipped off. The man screamed in agony. Even worse, sparks started flying from the electrical box, startling the firefighters. Thankfully, they quickly managed to cut the power again. At the top of the conveyor belt, they tried using a crowbar to pry open the gap, but it would not move at all. If the machine started again, the man's arm could be ripped off completely.
Please, I don't want to lose my arm. If I loosen the roller assembly, you can slide him out.
But the worst case scenario still happened. The conveyor belt started moving again.
Grab the road! Hey, grab it with your free hand! Come on! Mower, stop that bolt now!
Almost got it. 1, 2, 3.
After panicking at the electrical box for a while, the team finally stopped the conveyor belt again. But the man was in terrible condition, pale and gasping in pain.
Sounds like crush syndrome.
Mouse, you sure you got control of that thing?
It's not pretty, but yeah.
Clark, Casey, we're gonna back him out nice and easy.
Copy that.
They reversed the conveyor belt and pulled the man's arm out at the right moment.
I got you. Cruz!
Whether his arm could still function would now depend on the doctors at the hospital.
Thanks.
Just glad your head wasn't in it.
Have you ever seen a doctor run away in the middle of surgery? This woman wanted a bigger butt, so she went to an illegal clinic for cosmetic surgery. But halfway through the operation, the doctor disappeared. Her friend quickly called 911 for help. That was when they learned the doctor was fake. The paramedics were stunned by what they saw. They quickly began treatment. They carefully pulled the thick, long injection needle from her leg. A large amount of filler immediately leaked from the wound.
Medical supplies from Home Depot. He was filling her with silicone and cement. Heart rate's 50, borderline Brady. She's definitely allergic to something in this cocktail.
Her heart rate was very low and her breathing was weak. She was close to danger. They suspected she had an allergic reaction to some medicine. They intubated her. She finally started breathing again, but then went into ventricular fibrillation. After 2 shocks and an injection of epinephrine, she finally got a pulse back. After seeing this, would you still dare go to an illegal clinic for cosmetic surgery?
Sarah, I'm gonna kill you and
This was probably the old cop's most embarrassing moment. An officer called 911 saying his partner climbed onto the roof to catch a cat. The cat went home by itself, but he got stuck up there. The old cop was embarrassed and insisted he did not need help.
We'll have you down in no time.
I don't need your help.
Hey, you heard the man, let's go.
Hey, it's enough. Let's raise the aerial.
The firefighters laughed, but jokes aside, they still had to save him. Looking at his hopeless face, they slowly raised the ladder truck. A firefighter climbed up and tried to grab him.
Hold on.
Luckily, he grabbed the roof edge, but his legs kicked wildly.
Help! Please help!
The firefighter told his teammates to bring a rope up. Everyone became serious. No one was joking anymore. They handed him the rope, but another accident happened. He was too heavy. The roof edge broke. With the firefighter's help, his hand got through the rope loop.
All right, let's lift him up.
He was lowered down by the ladder truck like cargo and finally landed safely. After this, he never acted tough again.
Hey. Thanks.
Do you have a stubborn friend like him? A man was leaning against his car in pain when passersby noticed and called for help. Paramedics put him on a stretcher and checked him. His mind was fuzzy, but there were no needle marks, meaning no drugs were involved. Suddenly, his heart rate shot up. As they prepared to shock him, blood started oozing from his ear. Definitely not a good sign. They then found an electric burn on his waist, a scar running down to his foot. One of his shoes was gone, leaving a golf ball-sized blood hole on the sole. They saw the car's roof lightning rod had burned.
He was hit by lightning. We can't shock him. His heart's had too much trauma. 6 mils of adenosine. Yeah.
Did he really get struck by lightning for making a vow on Valentine's Day? Paramedics quickly injected adenosine, and the man finally started breathing normally. Looks like making vows on Valentine's Day isn't a good idea. Valentine's Day is a risky day, and firefighters are busier than ever. A small car was lying on its side, but the woman in the passenger seat didn't seem worried about herself.
I need the report to say we're just co-workers. We were coming from a lunch when that jackass hit us.
You don't report that kind of stuff, ma'am.
I gotta get out of here.
Her first words to the firefighters were to write an accident report, but don't mention anyone else was in the car. She claimed she was just having a meal with a colleague at a hotel, hoping nobody would know what she was really doing. Firefighters ignored her drama and focused on saving whoever was breathing. They smashed the windows, stabilized the car, and cut the roof off.
Seat collar!
Copy that, flying in.
Soon, the woman was lifted out. She asked the firefighters to call her husband and tell him she was in a car accident while working late.
Man, you're gonna have to take that up with the doctors at the hospital.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to cover for me for an hour when we get back to the station.
You got it.